Hi friends, just popping in a little bit closer today to show you the makeup look. I used the Pat McGrath Mothership 3 palette, which I've had for ages and hardly ever use. I used to be a makeup artist, and these days filming YouTube intros is really the only time I do a full look. But I really enjoy it. Also, Kmart didn't need to go this hard with this Aussie long sleeve stick. I just feel really good today. So, if you're new here, my name is Sally and I'm a mixed media artist in Australia. If you're not new here, welcome back. Today is the Monthly Faves sketchbook spread. So my Monthly Faves is a sketchbook where it's like a visual diary, and I just illustrate some things that were highlights for me for the previous month. So get comfy, let's go. Hello, so this is my June faves, and I've really been into, or I've been wanting to do just black ink illustrations, like line work. And I just thought to make the page more interesting, I'd grab my neon watercolor set and just swatch out some big messy blobs of color, and that can be my background. So I just chose a different color for each illustration and enjoy the real-time splotching. I love this brush. It holds so much water. It's an Art Spectrum French watercolor brush, number 12. And it's beautiful for exactly this, just putting on big chunks of color. Usually the way I start is with my font and my heading. And because I knew I wanted to do like black fine liner illustrations, I thought, wouldn't it be cool to just break out of like the gothic fonts that I've been so obsessed with the last few months and do something that's a little bit more like black metal? So yeah, this is just your standard kind of like scratchy metal font. And for this, I just used a Pigma Micron number 10, which is a pretty standard size. These fine liners are great. They're archival ink, waterproof, fade proof, really fantastic. So highly recommend. You'll see a lot of your favorite artists using them. Now the first fave for June is a sword. Now, for a couple of reasons. So I have some beautiful friends who just got married, and they asked me to photograph their wedding because I also am a photographer, and weddings aren't really my jam. I'm more of a live music photographer, but I could not say no. Like, if I'm going to do a wedding, I want it to be non-traditional, really cool, like creative concept. And these two had swords, and so we took a bunch of wedding photographs with swords, and it was so cool. And we were out in this beautiful park, and I'm just so happy with how they turned out. And I'm really stoked that they asked me to capture their special day. And huge congratulations to Lou and Shai. I love you both very, very much. And then I just rediscovered a favorite earring of mine that I had thought I'd lost, and it's a sword. And when I was setting up my bullet journal for July, I just ended up drawing a bunch of swords. So the sword is just seemed to be a recurring theme. So I popped that in. Here's the pens I'm using. I'll list them all down below. I've got a Copic, the Micron, and a Faber-Castell Pitt artist pen, just in various sizes. They're all three are great markers, like fine liners. I just chose three different ones because they're three different sizes. So my second fave for June is the extraordinarily talented Kristina Esfandiari, who has more talent and has more projects, musical projects, than anyone should have. Um, that just like constantly inspired by her and everything she does. So she came out and did a show with her band King Woman. And if you know a little bit about me, I've been super anxious the last couple of years. And I used to be a live music photographer pre pandemonium, and I was going to shows all the time and traveling for shows and all that sort of thing. So it's been one of the hardest things has been the sort of the mental barrier to getting back out to shows, because I love live music so much. But I pushed through and I went and saw King Woman, and all my friends were there, and I had the best night. And there was no doubt that I had to do Chris on the page and also give her. I would have happily done just like an entire portrait of the whole spread of just Kristina, because it was such a huge highlight for me. Both personally, for actually like getting myself to the show, and also just because the set was incredible. Everything about that night was fantastic. Kristina has lots of different musical projects, including some sort of like shoegazy type stuff, like with her band Sugar High, and there's also a project called Miserable, which is like shoegazy as well. King Woman is kind of a bit more doom metal. I'll list everything in the description box down below so you can check out all of her projects, because she's just such a phenomenal artist. And then she also has Dalmatian and Nightcrawler. And I think that's it. And I just have so much respect for this incredibly talented woman, and a very good friend of mine, Kat Jones, has a podcast and did an interview with Chris, and I'll link that down below as well, because that was just phenomenal. The podcast called Hot Blooded, and I'll link that for you as well, so you all have lots of things to listen to after you watch this video. My third monthly fave is Lost. So I've been meaning to rewatch Lost for ages, and I'm right in the guts of season one, so I'm really enjoying rewatching that. So I popped the little Lost logo up on the page. And then we have a beautiful little kangaroo. So we have had, I live in one of a block of 10 units, and we're quite tucked away, and there's lots of bushland at the back, and we've had a little kangaroo hopping around, and my next door neighbour said that she believes it's been living just down behind us. So I haven't seen it yet, so I'm hoping that popping this kangaroo into my sketchbook will manifest it for me, and I will just see it hopping past my studio window one day. I absolutely love kangaroos. I love all our native wildlife. They're just so unique, so special. Unfortunately, they are considered a pest for farmers. But what kangaroos do, they have these huge claws, and they have big claws on their front feet, and their back feet have even bigger ones. And what they do is they actually aerate the ground as they're passing through. So they're actually really good for the environment. It's just that the farmers don't like them, and it's a shame. You'll often find them on golf courses, just like sleeping in the sun. They're like big cats. They're beautiful. Next up, we have a big stack of pancakes. And this is another one of those things that's sort of like a recurring theme for me recently. It's funny how that happens. But my best friend Bridget had her birthday, and we went out to our favourite place to celebrate her for brunch. And I ordered pancakes because if you're going to True North, you cannot go wrong with the pancakes. True North is a awesome little cafe bar in Melbourne, and it's run by one of my friends, and it's just always the best place to catch up, and you just always have a good time there. Food is amazing, lots of vegan treats, lots of heavy metal, good company always. It's one of my favorite places to go, and the pancakes were outstanding as usual. And then the next and last monthly fave is Dave. Now, I don't have a lot of friends who are watching this show, and please, if you're watching Dave, or you've watched Dave, especially this latest season, season 3, please let me know in the comments, because I need to discuss it with somebody, because not many people are watching it from my friend group anyway, and it is so phenomenal. And this last season went so hard, like I could never have predicted the things that happened. So my friend that I have been chatting about it with is actually the person that told me about this show. And so, Candace, if you're watching this, thank you so much. You've never given me a bad recommendation. Dave is about a rapper in LA, and there's so many real, like, people doing cameos as themselves, and more in season 3 than either of the other 2 seasons. And it's such a funny show. I absolutely love it. So it's a HBO show, so it's on Binge here in Australia, and I guess HBO Max in the US, is it? I'm not sure. You'll know. But yeah, highly recommend Dave if you just want like a fun comedy with random cameos and silly songs. I absolutely love it. And this is a little portrait of Dave. So I'm really happy with how this spread turned out, and it's quite different to the others that I've done so far in this sketchbook, and I'm getting a bit more confident with just doing line work illustrations. And I really hope you enjoyed this video and you check out some of the things that I've mentioned. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.